Yes, Massive and Crew, back once again with another video, and today I'm going to show you how to sample on the Akai S3200, and also this similar process can work for sampling on pretty much any hardware sampler. A lot of people do ask me how to use the retro equipment, and I've decided to do a little bit of a series on that. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So here we have a Akai S3200. Now, things you've got to bear in mind is you've got a button here which is for record level. Yeah, this sets the level of your recording, obviously, and how loud you want your sample to be recorded. Now, as a general rule of thumb, you probably wouldn't want to put this more than sort of, you know, halfway. I tend to put it sort of at about, you know, just about here, as you can see there. And because the thing is, you don't want to, because it's analog, you don't want to bring in too much hiss. Analog has hiss, unlike digital, which is completely different. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is round the back of your Akai, you've got a record in jack, right? You've got an record in socket, and you've just basically got to feed a source into your record in socket. Now, what I've done is I've fed the back of my record in to a patch bay, so I can access the record in through the front, so I don't have to go around the back of my Akai every time, and I've just labeled it record in. Now, to be able to feed a line into it now, I'm going to need some sort of cable. Now, what I've done, just for the purpose of this experiment, I've plugged something into the headphone socket of my sound card there, and I've run a cable, and I'm going to pop the other end of this cable in to my record in on my Akai. Right now, that should be feeding a line in, so anything that I hear now on my computer would be going into my Akai. Now, the next stage is to set up the recording. So to get to the record section of the Akai, what you need to do is hit the sample button, because obviously the sample is where, you know, where you create your samples. Now, you can press the name button, and you could name it something, I don't know, call it break, I believe this is how you do this part. So I would then use the keyboard to type BREAK, and then I'm ready to record something called break, as you can see just about here. Right, next stage, I hit record. Now, okay, so now that I've fed that line in, and I go to sample, and then I hit the record, I've set it up to record break. Now, at this stage here, I then determine the amount of seconds that I want to record my sample. So as you can see there, just about on the screen, we've got the record time here. So I set the record time. Now on the sampler, it's just like how we used to work back in the day. Samplers have a minimum amount of time, yeah? So the sample memory is precious. It's not like today you've got unlimited, pretty much unlimited sample time. So you want to set not too much sample time, but just enough to cover what you need to do, yeah? What you need to sample. So I just wanted to add one more quick thing. When you're sampling, I usually sample in mono. Reason being is because when you sample in stereo, you're using 2 channels, which means that you have half the sample time. So back in the day, all the jungle tunes, most of them were recorded in mono. All the samples were in mono that went into the Akai, pretty much into the Amiga, or mono to save sample time, and then all the stereo was created on the special effects like the Alesis Multiverb, etc. Hello, Paris. I'm going to play a loop now, and as you can hear it, and as it plays, if you look on the level, you can see the level going into the sampler. Now, at the top here, just here, you can see the threshold. Now you can set the threshold so that the sample doesn't start sampling once you press ARM, unless the level reaches a certain amount, I believe. It won't actually start recording. So you want to put your threshold quite low. Hit your ARM, and it goes. Look, it's waiting for a signal to start. So as soon as I press that break now, you can see it records. Right now, the next stage is it will record to the 9 seconds, I believe. I think if we press abort, it will start again. So we don't need 9 seconds. So let's cut that down. So to do that, we just, on here, we would just adjust by using the buttons here. Look, if you just literally just adjust the tens and hundreds and whatever on the seconds, blah, blah, blah. Let me just zoom out a bit so you can sort of get an idea of what I'm doing. So I come back out here and I literally just take the recording seconds down. I'll go down to about 4 seconds, right? And I'll hit arm, yeah? There's also a monitor function on here as well that you can see, and the monitor allows you to, I guess, hear what you're doing through the main volume, but you don't want to do that because it's pointless. Okay, in this instant, right? So I hit the arm button, hit my brake, and then that records. Wait for that to finish. It'll run out the 4 seconds, press stop, and then once you've done that, yeah, then you need to edit your sample. That's it for this part of the video, people. Look out for part 2, where you're going to see how to edit the sample and cut it up and also duplicate. Please smash the like button if you want to see more videos on editing Akai's. Peace out. I'm a everyday junglist.